one.
Greetings, readers and listeners. Now, with past experience, I prefer to explain things rather than demonstrate them. I believe a detailed explanation is one of the best forms of learning. So, with this in mind, I began to ponder for a thought. There are so many things that could be explained, so much that could be told, but I can only choose one thing. In the end, I chose something that I knew I could explain easily: gravity. Now, as we all know, gravity is the force that keeps us to the ground and isn't our friend when we are in the air. But there's so much more to gravity than just the obvious. Did you know that there are four fundamental forces and that they are all in play around us at all times? Did you also know that gravity is the weakest of those four forces? Now, you would think that gravity would possibly be the strongest force there would be, considering that gravity is the attraction of mass and things alike. Now, you might be wondering, well, okay, well, what makes up gravity? Gravity is made up by the attraction of masses. And for example, take a moment to leap into the air. Notice how you land. Your body has its own mass, meaning its own gravity. Yet you are within the presence of a greater gravitational pull. Well, what might that force be? The Earth, of course. Now, did you know that gravity has one limitation, an arch nemesis to say? Gravity's only limitation is an object with no mass. Ideally, this is impossible. Everything carries a measurement of mass, even atoms and molecules alike. But if something has no mass, it cannot be weighed down. Therefore, gravity has no say in what its actions are. Now, most people debate whether or not gravity is an actual force. This is due to the lack of knowledge of gravity itself. Since we do not know whether or not to call gravity a transcendent through alternate dimensions, therefore it is called a force. Dr. Einstein believed that gravity is not a force, although it seems to act like one. Calling it a force is just mathematically pleasing. Supporters of Einstein's theory say that gravity is instead a curvature in space-time resulting from a presence of mass. This can be simplified as a stress energy tensor. Some believe that two particles, rather than attracting one another, the particles distort space-time via their mass. This distortion is what is perceived to be and measured as force. This being the mathematical sense of gravity. Scientists have tried countless times to get an exact meaning of gravity, or even a demonstration of it. Some demonstrations date back from the 19th century. Sir Newton and Sir Laplace, these demonstrations shaped the world to understand gravity more and more by each study. Since no one knew exactly where gravity originated or how it entered, there are so many equations on which people tried to come to an understanding with gravity. Let's share one. Sir Isaac Newton's gravitational equation is F equals G m1 by m2 over r2. The F stands for force between masses, while the G is the gravitational constant. The first m relates to the first mass, while the second relates to the second mass. And the r is the radius between the two masses. Gravity is a force on which weighs in on so much, like acceleration and movement. Did you know that when a car accelerates, that it isn't at its true force? Instead, the force of the gravity weighs down against the object trying to accelerate, and in turn slows it down. Gravity is a force that resides in all objects that have a mass, and with us no matter where we are or where we go. All except the void of space. Space has no mass, therefore no gravity. It is a never-ending vacuum that extends on and on. I do hope this vivid description of gravity was helpful, and I wish you all a good day. Stay awesome, peeps.